We take you live now to the Ontario Legislature, where question period is now underway. Let's listen in.
Member for Bay of Quinte.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you to the Leader of the Opposition for the question. And that $100 million loan that we made available to Algoma Steel in partnership with the $400 million put forward by the federal government is to help them get through this transitionary period as they move to electric arc furnaces, which will not only be more efficient and help them better control their inputs as their outputs waned because of the trade crisis, but it will make sure that there is a future for steel jobs in this province and a future for steel jobs in Sault Ste. Marie. And we know that those workers don't want bailouts. They want to get back to work, and that is exactly what we are delivering to those workers. Through our power centres, through our support for the sector, we are making sure that high-quality steel continues to be made in Ontario by the greatest workers in the world, and we will never back down from supporting our 17,000 steel workers.
Supplementary, the Leader of the Opposition.
Well, Speaker, this is getting pretty tiring. I don't know what the government doesn't understand about attaching strings to 100 million taxpayer dollars. Right, we have 3,000 workers in Brampton facing layoff. We have 1,200 in Ingersoll. There are hundreds and hundreds of people all across this province, in Oshawa, elsewhere, who don't know whether they're going to have a job tomorrow. 1,000 more people in Sault Ste. Marie without jobs. Instead of bringing the workers to the table and ensuring that they could keep those jobs, this government is always more focused on putting money in the pockets of their friends and their donors. 1,000 workers and families are watching their jobs disappear. They deserve good jobs. They deserve good wages. They deserve a government who is going to stand up for them every single time, to defend their families, to defend their livelihoods. Why will the Premier not stand up for those workers?
Member for Bay of Quinte.
Madam Speaker, the statement that member just made was so manufactured she might qualify for a tax credit. But unfortunately, she would vote against that tax credit, just like you vote against the Ontario-made manufacturing investment tax credit, just like you vote against the Ontario Trade Together Fund, just like you voted against the $30 billion package of support that we have put forward to protect workers, to protect industries, to make sure that our jobs are not shipped down to the United States. These workers knew that this was a big opportunity to make sure that steel production continues in Sault Ste. Marie. We know how important it is to that community. We made the investment to guarantee the future of high-quality steel made in Ontario, made in Sault Ste. Marie, and we have secured the future of that industry.
Order. Question. The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Speaker. It's quite a performance, but it's not going to put gifts under the tree or food on a table. That's right. Speaker, let's talk about what this government's priorities actually are, because yesterday in committee, public servants have confirmed what we have been saying all along. The Minister of Labour has been picking winners and losers for the Skills Development Fund. Did the Premier know that his minister was handing out or was hand-picking low-scoring applications for the Skills Development Fund?
Recognize the Minister of Labour.
Speaker, that's not new news. It's something I've stood in this House and said. We take ministerial accountability, and I'm proud of the decisions we've made as a government to invest in workers in every corner of the province, Speaker. Just this morning, I was at a Labour conference in Etobicoke, Speaker, where we had employers, where we had union representatives alike, Speaker, and we talked about the investments to build. They recognized, for the first time, a significant commitment to nation build, a commitment to build new nuclear that's going to bring 18,000 jobs to small modular reactors alone, another 30,000 jobs with Pickering refurbishment. The civil construction investments this government is making is critical to support an economy at a time when we so desperately need it, to put men and women to work, to build hospitals, to build schools, to build public transit infrastructure, and we're supporting them with Skills Investment Fund investments to break down barriers for a talent pipeline to support that work.
Supplementary, the Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, it's hard to keep track of his answers because one day he takes responsibility, the next day he blames somebody else. We know that the minister picked all the projects, and we also know that he decided how much money they would receive. And don't just take it from me, take it from the very public servants that he has tried to throw under the bus. $2 million to the Premier's family dentist, $7.5 million to Keel Digital Solutions, that's the company that's connected to the Paris Groom. We're following along here. $10 million to the Premier's favorite nightclub owner, more than $100 million to the clients of the Premier's campaign manager. You're all seeing this, right? Aren't you? You're seeing this too. Can the Premier explain what direction he gave to the Minister of Labour to hand out these grants?
Minister of Labour.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as you heard yesterday, it was documented, the monthly reports that are done, the audits that are done, Speaker, the transfer payment agreement process, where that's negotiated, Speaker. And of course, we're going to make those investments that support men and women, that support people in the skilled trades, for example, that support healthcare workers, Speaker. Again, this morning, I met with a number of leaders from various locals around Ontario, and they said for the first time ever, this government is investing in meaningful pre-apprenticeship pathways, breaking down barriers for underrepresented groups to enter the trade. We have a record number of people who've signed up, 105,000 active apprenticeship right now, Speaker, in the system. We've seen more youth registering for apprenticeships, whether it's a LiUNA local speaker, Carpenters, IBEW, in Durham region, Speaker, in my community alone, entering the incredible nuclear workforce, Speaker, and it's millwrights. I saw millwrights this morning as well. Not one of those locals the member of the opposite has visited. She's never taken the time to talk to a single worker that's benefited from this fund, Speaker. She's just politicizing it.
Yeah. And we are just listening to the Ontario legislature where question period is underway.